Yo, Doctor Who's it here. I'm getting ready to react to Thomas and Friends season 14 retrospective by the Unlucky Tuck. I actually remember growing up with this season as a kid. Actually, it's only one of the seasons I grew up with as a kid. Misty Island Rescue was one of the only Thomas movies alongside other movies I've never seen before. In fact, I actually watched parts of it, and I think I actually like this more than Lost Treasure. I mean, the reason I'm friends with the Unlucky Tug, despite my different opinions than him, is because he's respectable about both his own opinions and other people's, which that I'm thankful for. So now, in honor of him, I'm getting ready to react to his retrospective based on his own opinions. But because of how sensitive he is when it comes to this era, okay, I'm gonna be prepared for a cringe fest. Okay, let me prepare myself quickly. Okay, I think that's good enough. All right. Well, look, prepared or not, get the time to have a cringe fest before my very eyes. Here we go. Come on, you can load. I'm only on 2 bars right now on my network here at home.
Nuts.com is a snacking utopia.
Oh, is that?
We have supplier
Well, there
relationships
you go, and
from
look,
all
Doug,
the
just
world.
like the video
I
for you.
actually don't speak.
All right.
This video was brought to you by my loyal patrons. Pledge today and receive exclusive perks. Link in the description.
All right.
Dear Christopher,
Now I love this intro, how it starts
Here is
off
your
in the
friend
models
Thomas
and
the
then
Tank
onto the CGI.
he wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world.
In fact, I'm a fan of
These
basically,
stories
long
tell
story
you
short,
how
all
he
those
did it.
eras. Well, no hard things, but only all those eras, minus the later Andrew Brenner era. What? The music stopped.
Let's just
and you
get through
sighed?
this.
Whoa. What? Why did you just skip the intro? What?
Season 14 might have the least interesting production of the series, at least so far. Not all that much is known about it, and it can be assumed that the same production process used for Season 13 was used here. Sam Barlow, the story executive of the series, states in his interview with SIF that the special this year, Misty Island Rescue, was conceived at an Indian restaurant in London by him, director Greg Tiernan, and head writer Sharon Miller. The idea was to do something extraordinary with Thomas, and to expand their horizons a bit. They talked about all sorts of broad story ideas, and the one that stuck was a sort of Robinson Crusoe type story, which ultimately became Thomas getting washed up on a deserted island. As he states, it seemed totally insane, and that was why it appealed to us. Nitrogen Studios
Amazing.
started pre-production on Misty Island in June 2009. The season itself was worked on alongside the movie. Only one new voice actor joined the cast this season, and he ultimately didn't even end up appearing this year. It was Rupert Dagus, who was signed on to play Diesel 10 in the post-credits scene of Misty Island Rescue, and all future appearances.
You'll be laughing on the other
Now,
side of your
this scene is the reason
soon.
why
Silly
Misty Island Rescue hasn't ended at that scene. In fact, Day of the Diesels continues from where Misty
However,
Island Rescue
after
left
test
off.
screenings,
Day of the
some
Diesels
higher-ups
makes
said
up
that
for what
Rupert's
Misty
voice for
Island
the
Rescue
character
did.
was too scary, others too campy, and others too theatrical. And so, Diesel 10 was recast with Matt Wilkinson instead. Rupert's Diesel 10 voice was revealed in a work reel posted online by Nitrogen, however. And, funnily enough, Rupert's evil laugh is still used in the final dub.
You'll be laughing on the other side of your boilers soon, silly steamers.
I love these new... Oh, wait a minute. Let me go
He
back
would
and
go
listen
on.
to that older voice
Rupert's
quick,
Diesel
please.
too campy. After test screenings, some high
Silly steamies.
Wait,
and
let me
all
go...
future appearances.
All right, here we go.
You'll be laughing on the other side of your boilers soon. Silly steamies.
I think Northwest, but I think I like the old voice better because it's more
However,
cinematic.
after
in my
test
opinion.
screenings, some higher-ups said that Rupert's
All right, let's
The
go
other
back.
side of your...
And you were right, Unlucky Dog. It's the same laugh.
He would go on to voice Birdie, Butch, and new characters Dart and Flynn, all of which first speak in the next season. Misty Island Rescue had its worldwide premiere in the summer of 2010, and Season 14 followed in October. In 2011, there was some backlash against Hit Entertainment in the UK regarding earlier series episodes removing Christmas being mentioned from their winter episodes, and replacing those terms with the more politically correct winter holidays.
It was winter holiday season on the island of Sodor.
What?
Critics thought it was strange to remove such terms in a series that was created by a reverend. As a result, Hit responded to the backlash by going back and having all the winter episodes this season, and the next, redubbed for the UK, replacing all mentions of winter holidays back to Christmas.
The winter holidays are a very special time on the island of Sodor. The Christmas holidays are a very special time on the island of Sodor.
Wow.
This required bringing Michelangelos and all the voice actors back to re-say the lines.
We're getting ready for our winter holiday party.
What's a winter holiday party?
We're getting ready for our Christmas holiday party.
What's a Christmas holiday party?
The episodes present on the Complete Series 14 DVD use the redub versions. They did not make these changes to the US dub, interestingly, probably because there was no big backlash here. From season 17 or so onwards, the politically correct terms were no longer used in either dub.
Oh, damn it. It's an ad. Skip, please. Thank you. Alright, only 4 minutes in.
Some of you from the really old days may remember there was a time long ago when I used to actually like this movie.
Yep.
I know, crazy, right?
I
don't know
imagine.
what it was exactly I saw in it. I wanted to go into this seeing it with new eyes. Is there actually some redeeming qualities about it? Maybe this movie that everyone hates is actually okay, and it's just overhated. No. It's still a flaming turd.
Well, wait, you already
I
watched it, so you
can't
already
stand
hate it. Why watch it again?
It
This
is,
doesn't make
in my
sense. Plus,
opinion,
I don't
the
think this
worst
makes a
written
difference.
Thomas
If you're gonna hate
movie
it again, then I
ever.
don't think this would make
I'm
any
unable to
difference.
bear this all on my own, so I called up a good friend of mine to watch it with me. Everyone's favorite cartoon boat, Trampy.
The Trampster.
Misty Island Rescue.
Why does he say the title when... What was the point of that?
You just said it and there's no
No,
text on the
anyone
screen.
else getting Mystery Science Theater
Like Michael
3000
Brandon, what if I'm
vibes?
deaf and I don't know the title of the movie? Dum dum.
So the first, 6-ish minutes are actually pretty solid. It's all set up, but it's enjoyable. The animation is notably good. That intro shot of the camera following Harold through the clouds and revealing the new rescue center is great. Paired alongside the epic score by Robert Hartshorn, a lot of promise is shown here right out of the gate. You can tell right away that they wanted this to be a movie of a much grander scope than anything before it. For those who have never seen this movie, this is the basic setup. A new rescue center is being built on Sodor, and it's being built with Joby wood, a rare and special type of wood. The wood finally arrives one day on a big ship at Brendam Docks, and the engines all wish to have the honor of delivering it. The problems with the film first start to occur as soon as Diesel shows up here.
What about me, Thomas? I'm a really useful engine too.
Yeah,
No, Diesel.
I understand about that
I'm
part,
sure
but
Sir Topham
no
Hatt
offense,
means
but
a
in my
really
opinion,
useful
I think this would be
steamy.
more of
You'll
a
never be
setup
that.
for the movie
Where
Day
did
of the
that
Diesels,
remark come from?
alongside
damn.
with the chase scene.
Rude.
Why is he so f***ing mean? He didn't even say anything.
Yeah, no hard
what
feelings, but doesn't that sound like some?
Just
doesn't
wanted to be
the
useful.
steamy, you'll never
Diesel's
be that
just
kind
like,
of thing
I can
sound
be
like
really
something
useful too,
Duck
and
would
Thomas
say.
is like-
No offense, but I think Duck would make a better fitting character in the Thomas movie.
I've always taken issue with
I
how
understand
this
how you
whole
wanna take
scene
Thomas
is
on
written.
an amazing
Thomas's
adventure.
line here makes it seem like Diesel can't be useful because he is a Diesel, not because of, his entire history as a character. It comes off as unintentionally racist. If that was the intention of the writer, then the logical way to continue this would be to make this part of an arc for Thomas. Throughout the film, he realizes diesels can be useful, and he was wrong to have that prejudice. Makes enough sense, right? But not only would that just be dumb because of how many other Diesels in the show Thomas is friends with, one of which we see him being friendly with not long after this, but it's dumb because this plot doesn't go anywhere. Diesel gets
but in my opinion, I don't
shafted
think
in
it's
this.
meant to be racist.
He's
He
treated
only meant
like a
because
villain,
Diesel was
but because of the way the
mischievous.
scene plays out, he actually comes
because
off
how
as the
useful he
sympathetic
is.
one to me.
No offense. Okay,
He
I'm
only
honestly a little
expressed that he
confused on
wanted
that
to be
part.
useful, and
But I
Thomas
think
is
I'll
rude to
figure
him
it
out of
on my own
nowhere.
sooner or
See,
later.
this is something I didn't understand either, right?
Yeah.
So Diesel wants to be useful, right? Like
Right.
he's never done anything wrong yet at this point. He's like, I just want to be useful too. Thomas says, F off. Now Diesel's trying to be helpful. I guess he's not supposed to take the logs here. But, like, he's still depicted as the bad guy. Like, what is he doing wrong?
Dude, why don't they just kill Diesel? Like, why not?
I do get what they were trying to set up here. Thomas is wrongfully rude, and that's kind of tied to his overall arc of the movie that learning his ways are not the best. But in this specific case, Thomas ended up being right, because Diesel wasn't useful, and he lost the logs. So, like, yeah, what's exactly being said here? But I'm wasting my breath here. None of this matters, because Diesel is not relevant at all for the rest of the movie after this scene. The movie just forgets he exists. He loses the logs,
I wouldn't
Thomas
think
saves
so.
him. That's
Yeah,
it.
the Diesels
He's just a plot
continues from
device.
that, you know.
He has one more little scene where he begrudgingly says good luck to Thomas.
Goodbye, Thomas. And good luck, Thomas.
And that's it. No more Diesel. His arc of wanting to be useful goes nowhere.
All right, hold on.
No
he
offense,
pulled
but I think that
Diesel
more
out
or
of
less
work,
sets up Day of the Diesel.
and then he went to the docks for
which
Diesel to
and
tell Thomas goodbye or
I
whatever.
believe that after
and then
the
he's
scene,
like,
Diesel
all right,
went to
Diesel,
the
you're done.
broken
Go
down
away.
abandoned Diesel Works, spoiler
That was the
alert,
epic conclusion
and
to
tells
that whole
all the
plot.
Diesels about it.
That's
and
it.
then
That's all he
Diesel
got.
10 shows up.
Does
and
Diesel
then
ever
after
appear in
that,
this movie again?
Day of the
No.
Diesels starts
No,
to
that's
play.
What
And
the
that's
fuck? What
and
was
it
the
would make
point of
sense
that?
Dude,
as to why
there were hundreds
Flynn
of
and
logs
Bell
on
would
that
be
ship
there
when
so
it arrived.
because
but because
he would
Diesel
be there
lost
as soon as
9
the
of them,
rescue
the
would
rescue
be
center
reopened. I mean, it would
cannot be
require it
finished.
immediately,
Diesel
so that would make
lost
sense.
the Joby Wood. That is very bad. The search and rescue center will be delayed.
Really? This is just like that stupid season 12 episode where the bridge couldn't be finished because Thomas lost like 12 bricks or something. Come on now.
No, but
So
I'm
Thomas's
afraid it's
reward
because
for
of the
rescuing
budget
Diesel
reasons. I'm afraid
is
it's
going to a
budget
rescue
reasons.
center
Plus,
on
it's
the
a
mainland.
kids' movie,
just
dude.
Because
Would
I
you
guess he gets
just
to go on a
lighten
vacation
up
there
a
and
little
do
bit?
something. They never
Come
say
on.
what.
Lighten
Whatever
up,
they can pull
jerk.
to get Thomas on a boat. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you
'cause
like that,
that's what
don't
the plot
ya?
needs to happen.
Jerk.
He's going to the mainland. Sure, why not? But the boat is
Well,
full, so
they don't
Thomas
show a
and all
bridge
his
to the mainland,
brilliance
so in
suggests
my
going
opinion,
on a barge.
I guess it makes
Look,
sense.
that's perfect. I can ride to the mainland on that.
And there just so happens to be a barge with rails on it, conveniently
No,
at the
but
docks waiting for him.
It's
the ship leaves,
very
the chain
rarely,
snaps,
though.
because of
That
course
could-
it does,
there are
and
actually
Thomas
exit
gets lost at sea.
explanations.
He
Thomas
wakes up
most
on
likely
Misty
wouldn't have known
Island,
about
and
the
his
rusty
barge
chains.
just so
In fact,
perfectly aligns with a random rail dock on the shore.
I like how even the water was tired of Thomas, so it conveniently lined the raft to the rails of the island.
no,
It's like,
I don't
it's
think
like
it
the ocean
did.
in
Just
Moana.
water
It's
takes
alive.
its course.
It
Sometimes
helped
it
him there.
aligns with the
It's
rails.
like, I'm sick
sometimes
of this,
it doesn't.
dude. I'm dumping him here.
You
The
clearly
amount
have
of
no intelligence
conveniences
on
that have
Mother
occurred
Nature,
so
did you?
far,
Like
just
I
so
do.
this plot could happen, is countless. By this point, my suspension of disbelief is utterly destroyed, and we haven't even met the logging locos yet. So Thomas explores Misty Island for a bit.
I will not be scared. I will find a way to puff home to my friends by the end of the day.
Oh God, the rhyming.
poems.
This is the other thing that this movie is known for, where Thomas has suddenly become Dr. Seuss, and everything has to rhyme.
One biff, one bash, and there's never a crash.
Diesels are no good, the steamies always say. But
I'll show them they're wrong by the end of the day. I'll be the most useful. I'll be the best one. I'll huff and
with
I'll
the video
puff till
called
the
The
job is
Effects
well
Report, and I
done.
hope you
Who are you talking
re-upload that
to?
video soon, Unlucky Tug.
It's like talking to himself.
I think all the engines are just like insane. They just talk to themselves. Everyone just is like whatever about it. Now it didn't start here. They've done random rhymes like this in the past. I remember this one from Hero of the Rails.
I'll show Thomas who's strong and who's weak. He'll puff home with a squeak and a creak.
But this is definitely where it started to become noticeable, because they overdo it. and it is unbearable.
They likely don't mean
Gordon
to,
can
you
heave
know.
and haul. You will hurry and scurry.
What does that even mean?
Hurry
You're just
and scurry,
saying
like,
random words
scurry
that rhyme
mean
at
is,
this
like,
point.
scurry
It
outta
don't even
here.
make sense.
It's a huff and a puff, a whir and a whoosh, and we'll be there.
Stop it. No one talks like that. It isn't cute. It's just annoying.
I make
I don't
good
think it's
decisions.
that
That's
annoying.
what I was told. I will not be fearful. Be faithful.
Stop it! Sam Barlow stated in his SIF interview that this new alliterative dialogue was intentional. It was, quote, meant to try and preserve some of the literary heritage in the CGI era, to give the storyteller a little more to do than just read stage directions. But even he admits it was unpopular. Finally, Thomas meets the logging locos.
I'm Bash. I'm Dash.
And I'm Ferdinand.
And then he wastes half the movie on Misty Island doing nothing that furthers the plot in any way. I don't even know what Thomas is doing at this point.
nothing
I thought his goal was to find a way back to Sodor. But suddenly that doesn't matter, and he's more concerned with floating logs to take back to Sodor? Bruh, you don't even know how you're going to get back to Sodor at this point in the story. Why are you so concerned with the logs? So he just dicks around on Misty Island for a while, and he starts bossing the logging locos around? Why? What are they doing exactly? Why are they letting Thomas tell them what to do? This is their home. What is happening? This goes on for
they must
about
be
20
inexperienced
minutes
with the place.
until
That's a good
finally
explanation.
the locos mention a tunnel to Sodor.
We could wait for a boat, or we could try the tunnel.
Why did they get mad at him when he said that? What I don't understand
Because
is,
they knew the
why
tunnel
do the
wasn't
logging
such a
locos
good
help
idea.
Thomas here? What's in it for them exactly?
Why are they going with him?
What? That's what I was about to ask. Why are they going with? If they know they're not going to make it, why go? Why are they there?
Like, why is he bringing them?
Why do they willingly go into the tunnel? They know it's dangerous. They know they don't have enough fuel for the journey.
They do that because of their friend. Why do they go into the tunnel? They don't have enough germ for that.
And Thomas isn't
I love the
forcing them
leaves.
to go. I guess he's insisting that they go, but they have free will. They can just not follow him. It would be one thing if Thomas
But they
was like,
wanted to be
I need
nice
your
to
help
him
because
and
I can't
help
haul these heavy
him.
logs on my own. If you come with me, I'll make sure Sir Topham restores
come
all
with
of
me,
you.
I'll make sure
You know,
Sir Topham
give them a
restores your
reason
mountain.
to want to take the risk. He just says, you must. And they're like, okay. They just go with
You must. And they're
because
like, okay.
plot. And despite their concerns about their lack of fuel, one of them isn't even pulling anything. Oh my.
What? Oh, god damn it, another ad. Come on, skip button, skip. You just want me to say skip, don't you skip?
I think this movie asked the audience to suspend their level of disbelief too much. Just the mere concept of this thing is
I thought the bridge
too
was
much
pretty
for this
wacky.
universe.
It was
A
fun.
mysterious island right next to Sodor that has an American logging railroad on it that serves no people, which just so
This
happens to
basically
be connected
sums
to
up
Sodor
Britain's
via
reputation
an
on us
underwater
Americans.
tunnel.
That's
The
actually
amount
who
of
Brits
random
think we
conveniences
Americans
that
are.
occur are countless. The barge with rails existing. The barge washing up on the rail dock perfectly. Whiff just so Whoa, Whiff again? Why do you keep being relevant to my videos? Whiff just so happens to know about the tunnel to Misty Island.
Well,
which
because
just
he's an
so
old engine, so
happens
that
to
would
be
make
right
perfect
next to the
sense,
rescue
you
center.
a-hole.
You can't build your office here, sir.
You've got to be kidding me. That's what Topham is concerned with in this moment? His office? And he thought about putting it in a
He's
tunnel?
trying his best to
What?
get on with this work.
Wait, he wants to build his
while
office
taking
in
care
there?
of the Thomas situation.
Is that what happened? Is that what he said?
Yeah. Yeah, Whiff's like,
Is that what he said? Yeah.
Wait,
Wait,
there,
no,
sir.
no, no,
What?
no.
Wait, I thought he was worried about Thomas. He's thinking about his office now?
Yeah, like,
What?
wait, I thought he was looking for Thomas.
I don't have time to worry about an old tunnel with.
Then why are you looking at it? No one has apparently ever seen Misty Island before, only for the mist to conveniently clear so Percy can see the island for the first
there's
time.
explanations.
Cranky,
Sometimes you never
Salty,
know
look!
when luck clears at the
That
right
must
time.
be Misty Island.
That
This is the
line,
absolute
I heard
dumbest
that in the
moment
DVD
in the
opening,
entire
I'm
movie.
nostalgic for
You're
it.
telling
Just
me
that one line
no
alone.
one has
That
ever seen
must
Misty
be
Island before,
Misty
ever.
Island.
The giant island right there. There has never been a clear sunny day at Brendam Docks. Oh my God.
This is the greatest
This
movie of all
happened a few
time.
clear sunny days. They just were too busy working to notice.
You know what would have been so much better?
If it just risen out of the ocean like f***ing Atlantis.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. Making stuff happen just so the plot can move forward removes any sense of stakes or realism from the story. I'm quite aware it's Thomas the Tank Engine I'm talking about here, but it's hard to feel scared for these characters or get invested in their plights when we know every obstacle that they will face will just somehow be resolved by happenstance. This, right here, is why this movie is so boring.
It's not that boring.
At this point, it's
one of their
also
first
painfully
adventurous
obvious
movies.
that
With
the
the
movie
CGI
is
now,
not
they
going
can
to
push
pay
the
off
CG
so
limits.
much of what it set up.
It's not that boring.
There are so many pointless filler scenes in this that establish something, only for them not to be touched on again. Diesel is established as a major character with a clear goal that he wants to achieve, only to never appear again in the film. The rescue center is set up as a major new location, and the whole team is established in the opening scene, only for them to be forgotten about.
They wait till the very tippy end
scene when an epic rescue occurs.
To tell us that
There's
they
a scene
still
that
care.
establishes Gordon has been assigned to work with Whiff,
Are you
only
blind?
for Whiff's dump to never appear again in the movie, and the next time we see Whiff, he's not with Gordon. So what was the point of this scene?
Oh, the indignity.
Old Wheezy has
Well, my
no
respectable
relevance.
opinion, I
it
think
appears
Thomas-
once and isn't mentioned
I think
again.
Gordon-
The Shake
I
Shake
think-
Bridge
I
is never
think-
relevant again.
Wait a minute.
There's some worry
I'm
in
now
the air
thinking
about
the
Thomas
episode
firing
Oh,
up
the
Hee-Haw,
Indignity
but you
takes
guessed
place
it.
at the same
Hee-Haw is never
time
mentioned
as
again.
Misty Island
There's
Rescue.
no reason to
And
have
one of my
Thomas
favorite
go
lines is
back
like,
to Misty
"No,
Island to
Gordon."
find Topham at the end of the
the
movie. This
silliness.
reunion could
I
have just
love
occurred on
Carrie Shaw.
Sodor,
He's the best
but they
Sir
needed to
Topham Pat
pad
ever.
out the runtime somehow, right? Half of this movie is utterly pointless filler. This really would have benefited from a couple more rewrites to try and connect all these loose ends and dispose of ones that were not relevant overall. It really
You may
puts
be
into
a
perspective
tugboat,
how
but
little
I am
story
a
this movie
doctor.
actually has.
The doctor.
It's the 40-minute mark by the time Thomas and the logging locos get stuck in the tunnel, which is like the big dramatic scene. That's about 2/3 into the movie, and it feels like barely anything has happened so far. Ironically, this high-concept idea for an adventure movie that involves Thomas getting lost at sea, winding up on a deserted island, and trapped in an underwater tunnel only has enough plot to fill maybe 30 minutes. It has so very little to say. It's all gimmick and no substance.
Egad, the doctor
Oh yeah, and then
is
Diesel 10
angry.
shows up at the end after the credits. I honestly forgot that this even happened. It's meant to be a teaser for the next movie, Day of the Diesels. And it's admittedly pretty cool to see Diesel 10 again, seemingly back to his old evil ways. But it's so out of left field. Why in this movie, about a logging railroad on a deserted island, would you reveal that Diesel 10 has returned? They've never done an end credit scene ever in any Thomas movie, but like Misty Island, that's the one we're gonna set up the next movie in. That's the one we're gonna bring Diesel 10 back in. Like, why that?
Diesel 10 will return in Avengers Day of the Diesels.
Okay, I do admit that one.
If I were to boil it down, I think Misty Island Rescue sucks for 3 main reasons. 1, there is too much pointless filler that goes nowhere. 2, the characters, other than Thomas, lack arcs. They're all unintelligent and make baffling decisions.
No, they're not. They're still in their same
You
era
must sail to
characterization.
Misty Island immediately.
Why? Why would you do that? Just send Harold. He can fly. You'll be there in 5 minutes. And 3, the amount of plot conveniences remove any stakes. There's so little to get invested in, and the atrocious alliterative dialogue doesn't help.
I won't give up. I'll whistle once more. I know they're here somewhere. Of that I'm quite sure.
Shut up.
How about maybe you shut up?
We have climbing gyms all over the country, so we use Google Meet to connect.
Now this is the part of the video where I think I need to go get my head checked. Because as flawed and bonkers as it is, there are some sprinkles of good in Misty Island Rescue. Don't worry, this won't take long. The animation direction is overall good, and it's a real step up above the previous season. That intro shot with Harold in particular was great. Every shot is composed very well, like even in mundane shots where it's just a character talking. They make the scene interesting by having details blurred in the foreground, or slightly obscure the screen by placing the camera behind an object in the scene. They really take advantage of what's on the set. Visually, this movie is very appealing. I like how the scene where Topham finds out Thomas is missing is lit and shot.
I see. I understand.
There's a nice dramatic impact, and the lack of a narrator here makes this solemn moment feel sincere. I like the sequence of Thomas exploring Misty Island for the first time. It's mysterious, and the direction is fun. You never get a good look at anything. You're seeing and hearing this weird place for the first time entirely through Thomas's point of view. Misty Island in general looks really cool. There's tons of pretty sets. The movie feels expensive. You can tell that Nitrogen put a lot of time and effort into creating and designing Misty Island. The score is pretty great too. Robert Hartshorn continues to up his game with the show's music. This is the most cinematic score a Thomas production has had at this point, and it's the best thing about the movie, honestly. Even though the main theme is eerily similar to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe, but it's still great.
I think this kind of stuff is why I liked Misty Island when it first came out. There was very clearly an attempt here to make this more dramatic than the regular show. I like some of the subtle continuity here with the previous season. Hero is still on Sodor after returning at the end of season 13, and Spencer is finally going back home after arriving in Hero of the Rails and staying through the season. That attention to detail is pretty cool. I like this look on Percy's face when Salty first appears. Salty was the first major returnee in CGI, so I wonder if Percy's surprised expression was the animators trying to be meta. He's surprised to see an old face alongside the audience. Michael Brandon has some good moments in this as narrator.
They were all stuck in the tunnel, and no one knew they were there.
Again, I like Brandon much more when he's only the narrator and not doing the character voices. This line,
I like some of the character voices Brandon
is
does.
Very sweet.
Don't worry. I can find another hat, but I'll never find another Thomas.
Behold, one of two good pieces of dialogue in this movie.
One of the best Thomas
Here's
dialogues of
the
all
other
time
one.
in this movie.
That's what Sir Topham Hatt says.
Not to mention there's this video called The Scene That Changed Misty Island Rescue.
Sounds funny.
This bit is way funnier in the UK dub.
That's what the Fat Controller says. Who's the Fat Controller? He sounds funny.
I actually really like this bit. I think it's fun seeing non-Sodor characters hearing Topham's nickname for the first time. It is, admittedly, a little strange to those not in the know. And, that's it. Misty Island Rescue is boring, nonsensical, and baffling.
I think that's meant for
I'll admit
comedic
that
reasons.
There is something here. You could argue that the mere concept of this is just too crazy for the world of Thomas. But it is an interesting, all-new concept for a Thomas movie. There was some creativity here. Sharon Miller recently stated on the 80th anniversary podcast that this was her favorite movie that she wrote. She enjoyed bringing Thomas into a new world where he met all new people.
Well, I wouldn't blame you, Miss Miller.
That I really, really love is Misty Island Rescue. It's interesting with Misty Island Rescue. I loved it because I wrote it creating a world where you go and meet completely new people and you don't tell them what to do. You watch and you learn and you enjoy.
And I think her stance is entirely fair. Coming into a new environment and respecting the ways of the people who live there is a good lesson for kids to learn. It's a great moral for a movie like this. And I feel this movie could have been something really entertaining. It was just executed poorly. And the script needed some revisions before moving into production. And I'll be focusing on that in my next video, where I completely rewrite Misty Island Rescue. Ah, yeah.
Good luck.
Misty Island
no
Train
way am I think you're
does
going
not
to top
stop
the
here.
nostalgic version that I
video
never
will
got
be
to
coming
see.
very soon.
Well, guess that wraps up part 1 right now. This is part 1 of my reaction. The whole video is an hour long, and I'm not sure if I'm able to actually record the entire thing on my photos. But I'm going to record in different parts just to play safe bets. Anyway, Thanks for watching, and please keep in touch with me. We'll see you on the flip side and in part 2.